Devin Haney fighting Jose Ramirez.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was writing it, I was like, Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Who? And then Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero.
It's another one, bro.
And that was an upset, at least in my eyes.
It was an upset.
But we'll get
And a
into
lot of
that.
people's eyes, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So the first fight that we watched was Haney versus Ramirez. Haney looked very sluggish. He looked very tentative. He looked like he still had it in his mind, the replay of when he fought Ryan Garcia. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta remember, it's a year off. They've both
Yeah.
had a year off.
Yeah. So the
Ryan,
rust is there. The
yeah,
rust is
Ryan
there.
his suspension. Haney just kind of like taking a step back after. Bro, he took some abuse in that Garcia fight.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
So they're coming back on their comeback tours. These supposed to be basically like tune-up fights so that they can set up their rematch later down the road this year.
Yep.
And what I saw on these fights, I would not be interested in a rematch between these two guys, at least right now. Devin Haney, like I said, man, we'll start with him. He looks super tentative. He looks super like conservative. He did not look like the same guy that was clanging and banging before the Ryan Garcia fight. He looked like he absorbed some punishment, and that kind of put some doubt in his mind. And again, ring rust of a year, that's going to do something to you as well.
Yeah.
But he just didn't have that snap. He didn't have that burst. He didn't have that.
No.
He
You
didn't
can
have
tell
what he normally has.
Yeah, you could tell from the layoff, from the year layoff for both of those guys. I mean, the rust was there for both of them. Haney, always known as a very calculated fighter, a very aggressive fighter at times. You could tell that the whole entire fight he was just running around the ring, basically just running around the ring, trying to stay out of trouble. You could see in him that he was very timid, that he didn't want to try to exchange too much, just because I don't know if it was just that fear stuck in his head still from the Ryan Garcia fight previously, to
Right.
where he was just afraid to get caught, because that's what it looked like to me. It looked like to me that he was just trying to bounce around the ring, trying to make sure that he avoided any kind of trouble, any kind of actual exchanging of punches or anything like that. And the rust, you could tell the rust was there, man. You could definitely tell. He looked gassed at some points also throughout the fight, even though he was running around. It
That
was
time
just,
off's gonna affect the legs most of all, right? Like a
yeah,
power. If you're a power guy, the power is the last thing to leave.
exactly.
If you're a mover and a shaker in there, dog, a year off, that's gonna affect the legs. And
Yeah.
it was like you said, it was hard to tell. Is
Yeah.
he timid? Is he tentative? Is he reluctant? Is he hesitant?
I mean,
Or
from what
is it
I could
just
see, it
ring
was that,
rust?
yeah, for me, it was all of that, right? It was all of the above. Again, you're talking about two guys that took a year off, guys that are typically more aggressive, a little bit more aggressive. They throw more punches and bunches, but this time around, it was like they were just kind of out there feeling every 5 seconds, just putting their feelers out there, trying to make sure that they were staying out of trouble, staying away from the other fighter. Devin just looked all together. He didn't look like the old Devin Haney that we're used to seeing in fights, where he could be explosive at times and take risk. Right? He was more timid, more laid back, more, let me just try to see if I can get through this fight. So I think that for both of them, it was more or less that mindset of, let me get through this today, and then get back in the gym, get back in the ring, get
Play it
back in that
safe.
mindset,
Yep.
play it safe, and then get back to it. So
Yeah.
that's what it kind of looked like for me. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It was a snore fest. That fight was about as boring as it could get. But the
Bro,
Teofimo,
you got a counter puncher in Haney that
yeah,
it's not countering because the other guy's not throwing anything.
yeah, exactly. So again, a guy that nobody knew who the hell he was, and he wasn't throwing anything or
These were
wasn't
tune
in
up.
there. Yeah, it was a tune-up fight. And then the one main event that we got to see, both of us got to see, the Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. Bro, took me by surprise, for damn sure. I was with everybody else saying, damn, Ryan looks better. He looks like he's back. He looks
He
like
looked
he's focused.
healthy.
He did look
His
healthy.
body looked filled in.
Yeah. He
Like he
looked
looked like he was in a
like he
good
was
spot.
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looked like he was ready, like he was prepared. And then he gets in the ring And in the second round, Rolly hits him with a double hook, knocking him to his ass in the second round. And
Pat him down, bro.
I was like, what the hell just happened right now? And from that point on, for the remainder of the fight, Ryan was no production out of Ryan. He was just trying to like, it looked like literally like Haney all over again, trying to survive
Yes.
for him to get out of that fight and be done with it.
He was
So
fighting. Garcia was fighting this fight like he was trying to protect the opportunity to fight Haney, right? So basically, it's like I don't want to blow my payday
yeah,
by getting knocked out or something dumb in this fight, but you still lost the fight,
yeah, you
and you were
lost the
so
fight.
hesitant. You were
Mhm.
so non-aggressive. You were so like passive.
It makes you question, do you want to see Haney versus Garcia? Not right
Hell
now.
to
I
the
sure as
no.
hell don't. I know I don't. I sure as hell do not want to see that fight. If they're going to come out fighting the way that they were fighting today, both of them, nah. Why the hell would I pay pay-per-view money? Hell, I wouldn't
You
even pay $10 to watch that fucking fight right now. Just because both of them are gonna, if y'all gonna be doing that the entire fucking fight, then what am I watching for?
There was
You know
no
what I mean?
fireworks. There was
No,
no
none.
aggression. There was no urgency in Ryan Garcia. Like
Nope.
he just looked like he figured if I just play it safe,
Mm-hmm.
I'll get the decision and
Mm-hmm.
I'll just take it from there.
Yeah.
He looked very much like he was just trying to protect his interests. Like he
Yep.
wasn't trying to do anything. He wasn't trying to be great. He wasn't trying to do anything to make any highlights or anything like that. He was just out there like, don't let me mess this up. I already got something in the works. And
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Tarver kind of said it himself on the broadcast. He was like, anytime you sign a future fight before you're even done with this one, he's like, it's a recipe for disaster. Like at that
Yeah.
point, it's kind of like a jinx. Like you're messing something up. You're
Yeah.
you're looking ahead, and maybe that's what Ryan was doing. He was like, I'll get past Raleigh, knock off this
Yep.
ring rust, and then
Rolly.
I'll whatever, and I'll kind of
Yeah.
get to where I want to be.
But that's the
He,
problem is
he
that you
stumbled out the gates.
exactly like he said. I mean, you're it's kind of like in football, and I hate to use a football analogy right now. It's like if you're running towards the end zone before you make the catch and then you drop the pass. It's like it doesn't make any sense. Why would you put yourself in this position, not show out, not try to show that you have some sort of fight in you, and then basically lay an egg why you're trying to fight this fight against Rolly Romero, which everybody had you picked to win that fight. Like everybody was calling it to be a knockout
I think he
by
was like
Ryan,
negative 600, negative 900
something
favorite,
like that. Yeah,
and Romero was like plus 500.
exactly.
If you
So
bet on Romero,
yeah,
you got paid.
you got paid,
Romero by
paid.
decision, you got paid.
You got paid. But yeah, man, it was again. I know for sure as a boxing fan, I am not interested in seeing Ryan and Haney
Now,
right now for shit. That don't interest me. That don't as a boxing fanatic does not interest me at all. Not even
I
one bit.
might be more interested in seeing Oscar and Bill Haney fight.
For real. You
They
see
were
that?
they were
You
talking
see that in the
mad shit.
presser, bro? Bro.
I was like, Oscar, sit your coke ass
That's what I
down.
said. Why was it?
Sit your
Why?
nose candy ass down, bro.
Why is it that that was the exact fucking thought that went through my mind whenever I saw Oscar get up and be like,
With his tight ass suit, bro.
"Yeah,
You can't even move your arms in that suit, dog.
sit
Sit down.
your ass down," like,
Sit your
bro.
ass down. Have
But yeah,
several seats, bro.
but yeah, I mean, it's like it was it wasn't as entertaining as I thought it was going to be. It was very
Dude.
disappointing. Um, I know that I'm looking forward to tomorrow's fight, which we'll get to that in a second. But I don't. Tonight was just all overall was just a very disappointing card. I didn't even see excitement in the fans in the atmosphere. Why the hell they did it out in the open in the middle of Times Square
In the
is
middle of
beyond me.
Times Square. I thought
That
that
is
was
the
a great concept. I like that. I like that
I
whole
thought that was
concept. I didn't I didn't like the fights that they put on,
Yeah, it was just I
but
don't know, man.
there wasn't that many people inside that venue where it was kinda, like,
Mhm.
gated off.
I mean, hell, you could have got rented a room at one of the top of the
You'd have
fucking
to go
buildings
to
and
one of
just
those work buildings. Nah, Imma just stay late."
yeah, Imma stay late and
Yeah.
work.
Work. Nah, bro, you guys to go. No, you can't watch this for free. But nah, man, and they put a tarp over the top. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
But no, I don't think that it was anything that was. I'll tell you like this: for what I paid for it, I got my money's worth. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
I guess, man. It just for me, it was like it's not worth the $90. The $90 that
Hell
DAZN
no.
is charging for those fights, nah,
Nah.
hell no. And I think that the $90 covers both
Yes.
tonight's fights and tomorrow's fights. If you
Yeah.
just got one or the other, I don't know what the cost was for it, but uh,
It was
yeah,
it was all a bundle.
it was all a bundle.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
well,
$90, but it was gonna give you both nights. And I think the one that's gonna carry it ultimately is the
yeah,
fight
of
that we're about
course.
to talk about, and that is Canelo versus Skull.